Welcome back to Chat with Ade. This is your girl, Ade Tiladende, and we are here not in Canada, but in London. Not London, Ontario, London, England. Yes, we came all the way, and we are here at Studio 10 Media. Thank you so much to Studio 10 Media for hosting us. We are in appreciation of it. Thank you so much. And of course, if you are in the UK and you like a set to do your own podcast, have your own show, whatever it is you want to do, check them out on Instagram, Studio 10 Media. And I am not here alone, like you know, I'm always with someone. And today we're not just with any regular, any normal, average person. We are here with a very, very important VIP, very beloved, mindful, hey, beautiful Mrs. Tola Onibanjo, aka Wise T, aka Godmother of Afrobeat. Cha! I beg, drop banger. Hey, it's not small thing, to be known as Godmother. It's not auntie, it's not mother. Godmother of Afrobeat here in the UK, United Kingdom. Hey, welcome.
I mean, after that kind of introduction, now I'm speechless. How am I going to talk for the rest of the podcast?
Oh, you will. Hey, we're so happy to have you here on Chat with Ade.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. I'm seeing myself in or should I say I'm seeing myself where you are. Like that's the direction I want to get to. That's
you're there.
Amen. Stamped on it. Yes. And I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
I'm honored to have you here.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, and of course we're going to start with the introduction. First of all, introduction. So we know you, or should I say a lot of people knows you as Wise T and Godmother of Afrobeat. We're going to go to Genesis. How did that name come about? Because we know it ain't easy.
That name actually came about from, like my first son. Because he's always like, Mom, you're always doing so much. Mom, you need to be charging. Mom, you need to be. And I'm like, no, I just enjoy what I'm doing, kind of thing. But he knows a lot of stuff that I do that I don't necessarily talk about. But then he'll know that, yes, I'm behind it. So he's like, no, we need to give you a role. We need to find you a name. And I'm like, I'm okay with Wise Tola. That's my name. So then I remember my birthday a few years ago. My birthday was coming up, and so on my actual birthday, he now sent me a message and he said, "Mom, can you just send me a picture with all the artists that you have pictures with, all of them, Olamide, Tibu Savage, Fireboy, Burna Boy, all of them. Send me all the pictures." So I said to him, "Ricky, I'm not going to spend my birthday looking through my phone for pictures to be sending you. I can do that another day, but I'm not going to do it today." And he was really insisting that I did it that day. And I said to him, look, I'm just going to look at the ones that I can find that are not too far back, and those are what I'm going to send you, and then the rest you'll have to wait till maybe tomorrow or the next day. But I wasn't aware of what he was trying to do. So what he had done is he got in touch with a few people that I know, and he'd asked them to do birthday shout outs for me, and he kind of told them in a shout out, you can do a birthday shout out to my mom, Wise Tola, the Godmother of Afrobeat, and and then he had my friend that does all my design work now put it together. So he put the videos together, and then the pictures was like the frame. He made the pictures of me with the various artists as a frame to go around the video. So now, so then my son started posting. So he was posting videos, birthday shout outs, Tibu Savage, Fireboy, all of these different ones, and so I just saw them on, on the page on the day. So that's when I now realized that's what he wanted to do. And he got them doing shout outs saying, "Oh, the Godmother of Afrobeat." which was good. But then the only problem they had, because he was limited to who he could ask to get the videos for him. So when other people started seeing the videos, they were now messaging me and saying, oh, I would have wanted to do a shout out as well. And I was saying to them, I said, I didn't even know it was my son doing it, and he probably had no way of contacting you. So they were now still sending videos. So my son was like, that's enough, that's it, that's the cut off, I'm not doing it anymore, kind of thing. So that's how it kind of like just came from there, and it just stuck. And then when I now go out to events and like people are introducing me, so like whether it's Shop C or TJ Abbas, or they make a big deal of it, they'll say, oh, this is the Godmother, so then it makes people look and think, well, I need to take a picture of this person, and so it just kind of like stuck from there, and I think it's just like people will say, yes, you definitely are the Godmother with all that you do and that kind of thing, and so it kind of like it took getting used to, but I got there in the end. I caught up.
You caught up. So you were there, the work has been done, but now maybe mentally accepting that you've done all this work. Wow, that's superb. Imagine that. It just gave you your brand. Yeah. And how long have you been in the entertainment industry though?
Over 15 years. I mean, when I celebrated 15 years in the industry in Lagos this year during Easter. I went back home and I did it there because that's where it started in regards to Afrobeat. But I started the entertainment industry before that because I was doing premieres for a lot of the Nollywood movies that were coming over. So they'd asked me to come and do red carpet interviews and that kind of thing. So I started off with that. But I was on radio then, but I wasn't playing Afrobeats on radio. I was on 2 radio stations and I was doing a talk. Both of them were talk shows. So one was young people focus, and then the other one was parenting, because I'm very passionate about young people and I'm very passionate about parenting. So when I used to go to Nigeria, my friend that would take me out, he would take me to industry night when I was there, and he'd always introduce me and say, oh, this is Wise Tola, she's a radio personality and that kind of thing, and they'd automatically assume I play music on the radio. So I had all these artists giving me their CDs, and I kept saying to them, I don't play music, it's a talk show, I don't play music on my show, but they still wanted me to have their CD. So I remember when I got back to UK and there was 2011, one was planning the first Women for Africa to take place in 2012, and I really needed time to do that. So I said to my radio station, I left one radio station because that was much further, because I was doing both of them on the same day, and I opted for the one that was closer to me, which was online. The other one was online, but also on the FM, because it's now the Beat FM. It used to be Bang Radio in those days, but it's now the Beat FM. And but I left that one to go and start with another one, but my friend used to own it at that time before it became the Beat FM. And so I was just doing one. So I said to them, I need a break, I need to do Women of Africa, but I'll be back. And they said, no problem, just make sure you come back. And so I remember they kept messaging me saying, oh, are you going to come back? Are you sure you're going to come back? And I said, yes, I am. Then I just gave them a date that I'll be back to reassure them, because most of the planning for Women of Africa was in place. And then I now said to them, I said, look, I've got a whole load of CDs. I'm going to come back, but I'm going to play music. I'm not going to do a talk show, I'm going to play music, because there's a lot of artists that are not having the opportunity to have their music played in Nigeria. I at least want them to have that opportunity in UK, to play their music. And they were like, yeah, go for it, because there was no one playing Afrobeats on that station at the time. So I had an Afrobeat show playing Afrobeats. I had my DJ as well that was, helping me play the music while I'd just be talking, interviewing some artists and that kind of thing. So it just took off from there. So I was interviewing, on that station I interviewed the likes of Olamide. I did his first interview the first time he came to the UK. I remember it was my friend that brought him over. So straight from the airport, he brought him straight to the radio station because I was on air that day. So I gave him his first interview, and from there we just, became very close and, built a very good relationship and that. And so that's how it did. And then my friend that was on BFM, she now had a period where she now needed presenters for the radio station, and she just called me one day and said, oh, can I come and do a show on the radio? She needs me. And I was like, okay, when? So she said, yesterday. And I'm like, oh. This was in April, and I had Women for Africa coming up in May. So I said to her, I need to get Women for Africa out of the way in May. I can come after. She said, no problem, but please come after. So I spoke to my DJ friend and I said, look, my friend wants us to come and do a show and he was okay with it. So after then we went back to that station, and we were playing Afrobeats on that station. And so that was the station we interviewed the likes of the Davidos, the Tio Savage, R2Bs, all of them. So that's how it kind of like took off, and that's how Afrobeats came. So it's over 15 years now, but I celebrated 15 years this year.
Wow, that's superb. So before then, there wasn't any radio station really that was playing Afrobeats?
Well, Choice FM was. Choice FM had DJ Branty playing Afrobeats on it. So he was playing, and then there were other radio stations that had other DJs that were playing, but on these ones there wasn't. So we were playing on those ones first.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's superb, making history. And of course, yesterday there was an event to honor you.
Yes.
And I saw your son. He spoke. So you've been in the industry, entertainment industry, for over 15 years. Let's give or take.
Yeah.
And your son, I think you said, I'm not sure if you mentioned his age, but
my age.
That's not mentioned. Well, you don't mind mentioning your age.
No, I'm 54, but I'll be 55 in January.
Yes. So our beautiful 55-year-old woman, gorgeous. And how is it for you being able to, take care of home while busy in this entertainment industry?
Well, I always make sure my family are a part of everything, even if they don't know, even if they're not listeners to Afrobeats and things like that, they will know about Afrobeats because I talk about it. I talk about the artists to them. They've met quite a few artists because some of them have been around the house when they've been in UK. So, like even my husband, he's not an avid Afrobeats listener, but, like, when they're coming to the house, I'll be like, this person's coming to the house. When Olamide came, I said to my husband, Olamide's coming, and that. Make sure you come downstairs, meet him, Fireboy, the same thing. And then they catch on to the music, and he's like, yeah, they were actually in my house, that kind of thing. So the kids kind of like know about them. But a lot of things that I do, the family are always involved. So when it comes to things like Women for Africa, all the kids have their roles. So they have their roles that they play on the day. Who's looking after what, who's taking care of these different departments. So they're very involved in a lot of things that we do anyways. And that's how we make it. That's how we prefer to have it, so that work-life balance is there, kind of thing. So even with this event that we had yesterday, it was actually meant to be last week. But I had an event last week and my husband was in Nigeria last week, so he was like, oh, can they put it to the following week so that he's back, so that he can be there? Even though Afrobeats is not his thing, he's a business consultant and that kind of thing, but he still wanted to be there. So, James and Fizzy agreed that yes, they'll push it till this week so that he could be there. So yeah.
Superb.
And then my son doesn't even live in London, so he actually had to drive down from Oxford to be there yesterday, and that's why he left early to drive back home. So yeah.
That's sweet. So it's almost like it becomes a family business. Everybody's involved.
Yes.
Now you mentioned this organization, Women for Africa.
Yes.
So please give us a little detail or taste of what it's all about.
Women for Africa is a platform that myself and my husband, founded. It was really birthed out of wanting to celebrate and elevate, ordinary women who are doing extraordinary things. And it's been a passion because I used to do hair. I used to do hair from the age of 14. I used to do my own hair, and the reason why is because we grew up with my dad. And because my dad didn't know how to do mine and my sister's hair, he would always shave our hair, so we would go to school bald. And I mean, now short hair is the rage, it's the fashion, but back then it was not. So we used to get teeth. So I was forced to learn how to braid my own hair. That was the only way I was going to be able to keep my hair. And then I started learning how to braid my own hair. So I started learning how to do my hair myself, and I became so good at it that my friends used to ask me to do their hair as well. And then my friends' mums would now ask me to do their hair, and they would pay me. Nice. And then I got a Saturday job doing hair because somebody that owned a salon saw somebody's hair that I did and wanted me to come and work on a Saturday braiding hair, which I did. So I had a Saturday job doing that, and that's what I did. So I mean, after a while, when I left school at 16, I was working in a bank. I had my son, I was working in the back. My mum came over. She was over for a year to help with my son and that. And so by the time she left, he was walking and everything. And so I was juggling working in the bank and here with him. But I wanted to be more hands-on. I wasn't really fond of sending a child to the childminder at such a young age. So I started doing hair, and I had lots of clients. So it now became something that I was able to do without needing to go to work. So I was able to be hands-on with my son. I just put time on my back if I need to, plait and braid and that kind of thing. And I was also able to do school runs and everything else, flexible while having clients. So it's the stories that I would hear my clients, when they're sharing their stories and things like that. That was just inspiring. And I just thought, if I'm inspired by it, other people will be inspired by it. So I knew that I wanted to create a platform, where people could hear different people's stories. You see a woman that's in a really good position, but you just don't know what she's gone through to get there, what she's had to do to get there and that kind of thing. And, so we just created that platform, and I knew where I wanted to do it. I mean, I think I was being a bit ambitious in the beginning, but that's the kind of person that I am. So I told my husband, I said, right, we're going to do this awards and we're going to do it in this venue. And and we're going to do it on this day. This is the process. So the venue, I'd seen it years before and I really liked it. So I didn't think, nowadays people, when they want to start things, they'll think, okay, let's start small so we can pack it out and so we went for the venue, we decided to do 45 tables, that's 450. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking at the time, I wasn't thinking clearly, but and we packed it out. It was we packed it out. We had our guest speaker for that year was Stella Damascus. My friend knew her, so he was able to get her to come and give a keynote speech and everything. And then we just awarded a number of women on the platform, and we just took it from there. And since then, every year we just sell out. Every year we sell out. And so we had 2 years, a 2-year break for COVID, and then we started back after COVID, and we did our year 10 this year. Celebrated 10 years this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's not easy to even have something that you do for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, sometimes of 10 years, being consistent, and because you can't do it alone, right? So that having that support system that is consistent with you is tough. So congratulations on being able to accomplish that so far. I'm sure you guys have plenty more years going to go for. Wow, that's superb though. That's great. I like that, having spaces for women to tell their stories.
Yes.
So how many women do you guys pick out every year to give award to or to be able to come?
So every year we have 12 UK categories, then we have about 3 international categories, and then we have recognitions. We have recognition recipients that automatically getting recognitions on the day. So in total, sometimes it can be 25 women. Sometimes we do have the judge's choice. The judge, will look through and think this person stands out. So instead of them being a finalist, they should have a recognition. So that would be like the judge's choice recognition. And then categories where they can't decide, we might have 2 joint winners, because they might not be able to decide on who.
Wow.
So so I'd say about 25, between 25, 30, depending on how many recognitions we have. But for year 10 we did it differently because it was year 10, so what we did was we recognized 10 women, so 10 women were getting the awards. And then we had 1 international, and then we had 2 surprise, 1 lifetime achievement and 1 special woman award.
Nice.
Year 10.
So you mentioned you were working at the bank.
Yeah.
So do you still work at the bank?
No, that was when I was 16. I think I stopped that when I was 18. Yeah.
Wait, how long have you been in UK?
I was born and raised
here. Born and raised here?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking maybe back home when you came.
No. Yeah, born and raised here.
Wow. That's interesting. Yes. So also you mentioned how you were raised by your father. And did that influence or booster what you are doing now, especially in regards to honoring women that have gone through one thing or the other to become who they are? Because clearly you've also had to experience such, but where do you see the linkage?
Well, being raised by my dad, it was, my mum was still in the picture, but my mum and my dad actually had an arrangement that, because my mum's mum was still alive, my dad's parents were not, but my mum's mum was still alive, and she couldn't live in this country because the weather is too cold, and she always used to fall ill when she used to come over with my mum. So the arrangement was my mum would look after her mum in Nigeria, being an only child, and then she'll come over every so often, do a few months with us, and then go back. So it's my dad that raised us. So what they did with me and my siblings was my mum would have us here, and then after maybe about a year, she'll now go back to Nigeria with us until we're school age. So when we're about 5, she brings us back over, and then we go to school here, but we're with my dad. So that's how it was every child that they had. So by the time I was here and I was going to school, obviously now I know how to speak English. So by the time my brother has gone through that process and he comes over, he's in school. So I'm translating for the teachers in school what he's saying, because obviously he doesn't know English at the time. And that's how it was for every sibling. So I would say in regards to my dad, my dad was a very generous person, and I think that's where I get how I am from. And all my siblings were like that, That's why my husband will say yes. I can give away everything. My husband will say to people that left to my wife, she'll give away our house and we'll just be drinking Gary. But I always used to have this. Thing when I was growing up, and I told it to my husband one day. So he will tell people. That was one of the things that attracted my wife to me. I couldn't understand why some people had money and some people didn't have money growing up, and so I always used to vision myself in this particular area where I grew up in Brixton. Just sat at a table giving money to people that didn't have money. So my husband said, well, if you're doing that, where's the money going to come from? Yes, because they're going to keep coming back. And I had a thought of that. But as a young person, because then I was just young, I don't even think I was way into my teens. But I just don't understand why some people had money and some people didn't. And I just saw myself wanting to give people that didn't have money so that they could actually have money. So I think that's probably where the generous part came from. And then my dad has always been like that. So yeah, we've seen it from him and how he's helped, so many family members that have now come into the country and, settled here with their children. And, my dad has helped so many of them to, that process. So that's the kind of person that he is.
Oh, that's super. Okay, so yesterday I heard a couple of things, and one of them that I picked out was in regards to you have a fashion brand. So please, what is that all about?
that is more a hobby, I would say. I do enjoy sewing. I growing up young, when we was younger, I used to hand sew because there were certain things that I wanted that we didn't have. So I would, I would learn how to sew. Me and my friend would buy fabric, cut out the pattern, and then we would actually sew it by hand. Wow. So if we're making a jacket, it's all sewn by hand, like hand thing, because we didn't have sewing machine or anything like that. So I've always wanted to sew, and I had my friend that made my outfit yesterday. She teaches one-to-one, so that's what she does. And every year after Women for Africa, we always have a couple of months break before we start planning for the next one. So during that time, I think of something that I want to do because I have that time, that break, to do it before it gets busy. And there was a year that I said, right, I'm going to do my one-to-one lessons this year. So I just messaged her. I said, right, where do I pay? I made the payment. And then she came around. She was coming around. I had the sewing machine, everything was shown together. So she would come around teaching me how to sew. So I was thinking, what am I going to sew? Do I want to make clothes? And at first I was thinking, I wanted to make bodices, but then I just couldn't get a pattern that was easy or simple, straightforward. And I didn't want anything that was going to just be racking my brain to try and do. But I knew I wanted a particular bag when I go out, a bag that holds everything, that's just comfortable and, that can fit my fan, my phones, everything else in, and still be small and cute. And that. So I made a bag one day and I thought, this holds everything. And I can make it with different fabrics because I have so much fabric. Once I learned to sew, I was getting to the shops almost every day and just buying fabric. You see nice fabric, I'm like, I want that. And so I had so much fabric, and then my husband was like, there's too many boxes of fabric in the house, like what are you going to do with it? Why are you not sewing it? And, and then he ended up getting me a shed in the garden. So I now boxed everything. And so I have a shed full of fabric. I'm telling you, non-stop fabric in that shed. So, so he used to say, what are you doing with the fabric? Are you not going to be like, yeah, once I figure out what it is I want to make, then that's it. And then that bag idea came, and that was it. I knew that was it. I enjoy making it. It's quick, it's simple. And, I just gave it the name, a combination of my mom's name and my husband's mom's name, Monan, and that's it. I just say it's the Monan bag, that cute petite bag that every woman should have, and that's what I did. So, yeah.
So is it on, where can it be purchased?
We have an Instagram. We have the website should be up any day from now. I'm back and forth with my design guys. So yes, it's called Monan Bags, Montan Bags, and it's on Instagram, it's on Facebook, and yeah, the website is montanbags.com.
Okay, wow, super. So we're about to round up, but I just want you to, give a little bit of nuggets in regards to anyone that is coming behind you and, they see this is what you do, and of course they're like, oh, I would love to do that. What advice would you give to a younger?
I would say whatever you want to do. My motto is, if no one gives you a platform, create one. Absolutely. And then if you believe it, you can achieve it. So I always say to people, go for it. Go for it. There are people out there, because sometimes people will say, oh, but nobody wants to help, but there are people that do want to help. So you'll go for a load of people that don't want to help to get to the people that do want to help. Anyone that's ever come to me and said, oh, I want to do an event, or I want to do an awards, I want to do this, I give them all the info that I have, as much help as I can, so that they can do what they're doing. I don't keep anything, I don't have to hide anything, There's no one award that's going to be able to award all the people that need to be awarded. So there's room for lots of awards. And I always say to them, you don't have to only do one thing. I have a number of things that I do. I do the Solid Woman. Solid Woman is a platform where I believe every woman is a solid woman in her own right. And I have an event every year in March, Women's Month. I haven't done it for a few years. And I remember I put the logo up on my WhatsApp DP, and people started messaging me, yeah, Solid Woman is back, because I put Solid Woman 2025, so that I can do it. So they're like, yeah, Solid Woman is back. So we have an event for Women's Month, and I make it very interactive for the ladies, and that. So we have a lot of activities. We have speakers, we have activities where and just do things, but all in the midst of other women, so we're all thriving and striving together, to accomplish, what can help each and every one of us. And then I have the Listeners 101, that's a platform for young people. It's an app actually that I created for young people that need somebody to listen to, because you always get young people say, oh, no one listens to me, I don't have anyone to talk to.
Yes.
So it started off as a helpline, and what I did was because I have a number of mobile phones, I dedicated one of my mobile phones to it, so that young people can call in if they need someone to talk to. And the reason why I did it that way, because obviously it's my mobile, so I pay my line rental, so it's not that it's tied to anything or any type of funding or anything. So once the funding cuts, then there's no more phone line. It's always there. But I found that they used to always message us through Instagram, and they prefer talking that way rather than coming on the phone. And so what I did was my cousin's husband and his partner, they build apps. So I now spoke to them and I said, I need an app built for the listeners where they can talk, just like how we do on WhatsApp, but it doesn't collect any of their information, so they can download it anonymously and talk to a listener, because basically sometimes they just need someone to talk to. And I feel that, it came about during a period we were having so many stabbings just going on. Every day it's a number of stabbings, and and sometimes, it's a lot for some young people to carry, even though they might not be the one that has done it, but they're part of the group, and just not knowing who to talk to, who they can share that information, not because with them, they don't want to be a snitch, so they're not going to go talk to the police, they're not going to tell another friend in case it gets out. But the thing with the Listeners app is, we don't have access to your phone number, we don't know who you are, so you can come offload on us, tell us, and and we can just guide you through, and we refer. What we do is we refer. We don't give advice, we don't counsel, because we're not therapists. Even though some of my listeners are therapists and that, but we're there more to listen, and then we can refer you to organizations that give advice or counselors and that kind of thing, but ours is to listen to you and just guide you through the conversation, see if you have anyone that you can share that information with. And if not, we're happy to take on that information. So, and though even though it's anonymous, so we get young people that are suicidal and things like that. And there's nothing we can do about that because we don't have access. But I did speak to the police during the time I was doing that and saying, well, how would we deal with somebody that's suicidal?
Yes.
They said, well, obviously because it's anonymous, all you can do is just inform us. At least you've told us, and then that's it. There's no way that they can trace them through it or anything like that. But we've done our bit by just letting them know. So it's on the website that if we get a listener that comes on and they're going to talk about anything that we feel will bring harm to themselves or another person, we will have to inform, obviously, the local authorities, the police and that. But that's obviously for their own safety. But even though we don't have access to them, but we do our duty and make sure that we've reported it as we should. And that's kind of like how it is. But now the app is in the process of being updated. I've had to get the guys. I needed some changes made to it, so it's in the process of. Well, it's been approved by the app stores now, and I just need to run a test. But the problem I'm having with the developers and myself is the link they're sending me for the test, I'm not getting the link. I'm not able to pick up the link, so that's where we're getting back and forth. But I'm hoping in the next week or so, we'll be back on both the Apple store and the Android store,
And
so that listeners can start. The Listeners 101.
The Listeners 101.
Yeah.
Yes. So remembering another information that I got from your son's speech yesterday, you did say that mommy, she loves to give, she doesn't charge, she start consultation fees. So I would definitely have to ask you, how are you managing it all if you're not charging someone for some of the services?
Well, we have a good network. I would say we have a good network of friends. We have a good network of friends that are professionals, friends that run their own businesses. So when it comes to stuff like the Women for Africa, we have friends that, I have a friend that owns her own solicitor's firm. She's owned it for a very long time. I have a friend that owns a chain of nurseries across the UK, and it's all her own. So these are friends that we know that see what we do, so they support us every year they sponsor us every year. Every year we have a set of people that no matter what, they are always sponsoring Women for Africa, because we haven't been able to tap into corporate sponsors as such, because it's an awards, it's entertainment, and with sponsorship, it's what's in it for them as well. Well, how are they going to benefit from an awards ceremony? It's entertainment, people are coming having fun, so it's not the ideal that they would want to sponsor, but we do have people that see the need to celebrate, the ordinary woman doing extraordinary things, so they will put their money down to make sure it happens every year. And then obviously, people buy their tickets to attend, because we do a hotel charge per head, but we keep the tickets very close to what the hotel's charging per head, so we don't add extras on it like that, because we want people to be able to come, and then it's the sponsorship that we get through friends that supported us through years. We did used to have a main sponsor that until the sponsorship pot has ended now, but they used to sponsor us every year. That was Brand South Africa. They were our main sponsors every year of the event, so they were the actual main sponsor.
Oh, well, they need to come back, right?
Pardon?
You need to continue that sponsorship.
but their pot has come to an end now, that one.
So they need to sign another contract.
Yeah, we're waiting for that, absolutely.
We need them to sign a new contract, definitely. But I know in Canada, it's something that we're just beginning to tap into, trying to get the corporates, to support our growing entertainment community. And I would have believed since London, they've been, in the entertainment when it comes to African entertainment, that they would have been able to tap into the corporates to support that, because I believe in as much as it might be entertainment, they are able to tap into it, because at the end of the day, it's numbers. So if there's numbers, they should be able to come out and say, yeah, we can support, we can sponsor, we can do too. So I really think it's something that they could do, because it's still a game for them. But when we have any corporates out there that says, or even any individual out there, or business individuals that would love to support in any way, because it's not just always about money.
Yes.
So it's a trade by barter that can also happen. So how would they be able to reach out to you in order to do that?
I mean, they can reach out to us. We have our website. Most of our information is on the Women for Africa website. So all the year, the videos from all the years, pictures, what we're about is on the website, Women for Africa, women, that's number 4, africa.com. And we have our Instagram page, we have our Facebook, we're on TikTok, we're on, X, we're on all of those. So they'll always see what we do and that kind of thing. And like you said, it's not only about money. So sometimes sponsorship comes in the form of venue. So like this year we did the awards, but the day before the awards we had a summit. So we had a business summit on the Friday, then we had the awards on the Saturday. And we were able to do that because NatWest Bank, obviously sponsored by giving us a venue. And that's what they've done last year and this year. So last year we did a Women's Month event. They gave us the venue. We used the Queen's Bank. It's now the King's Bank because, God bless our Queen. It was the Queen's Bank until she passed away, so we did it there. So they give us their corporate venue and then we are able to do the event there. So once like this year, once they bought their ticket for Women for Africa, it automatically gave them access to the summit the day before because the venue's free, so we don't have to charge tickets for that. It's only people that weren't coming to the awards that will just pay something small just to attend the summit if that's the only thing they wanted to do. So they can, sponsor with venues and things like that. And then sometimes with a lot of some of the corporates that we've been involved with, it's always been maybe in terms of products, not so much money, but in terms of products. So stuff that we can put in the goodie bags for, our attendees and that kind of thing. But yeah, so we accept sponsorship in any way, shape or form.
Yep. Wow. Now let's go back to the entertainment part. I remember your son. I remember the speech. He was the first to speak. He said that sometimes he has friends that they want you to help them or to give them some sort of direction, advice, but they're too scared. They don't know how to ask, and he's like, just ask her. Just ask her. It's okay. And I would like to ask you now, how easy is it for someone to access you? And do you feel maybe, I know this is what you do, you love what you're doing, but is there any time you feel like there's too much people coming to you or coming at you for help, direction, upliftment?
I feel that I just don't have enough time. Not that there's too much people, I just need more time for the people. But I've always said I want to be that person that remains easily accessible. I remember there was a year that my kids were still at school age, so I was still taking them to school. And so we have a group of school run moms. We always meet in the playground when we drop our kids and we might go for coffee and that kind of thing. So there was a year we were doing Women for Africa and I said to them, you guys need to come to Women for Africa this year. Just get your tickets and get a table and all of you come. And they all said, yeah, they were going to come that year. Because I've not really invited them like that, but they kind of hear me talk about it sometimes. And, I also have a book that I've authored so they know about my book as well, kind of thing. So I told them to come that year. And I said to them, it's a dress up event, so just dress up, come and enjoy yourself. And obviously, the school run is an early morning thing, so I just take my kids to school and, so I just put on a tracksuit, put on a hat, so there's no wig, no makeup or anything. That's how I do school run. So that year they bought tickets and they came. So when they came, number one, they couldn't believe how big it was, the event. And then they saw me because then obviously now I've got my makeup done, my wig, I'm dressed up, and they're like, oh my God, you look so. And then so they got to the school the next day and they're like, oh, I didn't know I was friends with somebody famous and this. And I'm like, no, it's not like that, But they're like, well, you don't even shout about what you do or talk about what you do. I said, but I've told you guys this is what I'm doing. I do tell you Women for Africa's coming out, so I'm going to be busy and, if you guys want to come, let me know. I think this year, because I insisted they come, they decided they were going to come. But usually I just say, if you want to come, let me know, like that kind of thing. But they just didn't know the magnitude of it and that until they attended. So it was like, oh my God, we go to school, we do school runs with somebody that has something this big and, but I didn't really look at it like that because I'm the type of person that, I want to be able to just go to my local supermarket and shop and just be, that kind of thing. So, I mean, people do reach out and for me, it's the time. I try to respond to as many as I can. I always say on my Instagram lives that, if you want to get my attention, don't just come in my inbox and say hi. You know, I don't have time to do hi, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? You know, like come in my inbox, introduce yourself, and just say what it is. You know, like, and then I can respond to you based on, you know, but I'm not going to respond to a hi because there's just too many highs, and I need to know what you're saying hi for. You know, like, so I say that a lot of times. So when they reach out and they say, oh, you know, I'm so and so, I'm an artist from here. I'd love for you to listen to my music and give me feedback. Then I can respond to that. Okay, send me your music, and then that's what I do. And then I give them feedback. But when you're going to do hi, and then you want me to do what? Say hi, and then they'll come back. How are you? And I'm fine. How are you? Oh, I'm good. Yes, I can't do. I don't have time for that. But yeah, I do try and reach out to as many people as I can, and you know, and do as much as I can to help people. So it was. I think a lot of people got to have an idea of what I do when I did the 15 years in Nigeria, because I did have like a few industry people that did come out. So that one, you know, like a number of them wanted to come out and talk. So they came out and they started to talk. So I think a lot of the up and coming artists that I do help to push their music and that were there were now hearing what it is that I do and that kind of thing. And then there were a number of them that were there that were now telling how I've helped them and what I've done, and not necessarily things that I share, you know, kind of things. So there was one artist there that was saying that he was actually having problems with his label, and I didn't know at the time because obviously, you know, like I listened to his music, I've given him feedback on his music at one point, and there was a time that he wasn't posting, and I noticed I wasn't seeing him on my timeline, so I reached out to him and I said, oh, you know, what's happening? How comes I haven't seen anything? And then he now explained that, you know, like he's going through an issue with his label and they were suing him for, I think, something like 40 million or something, kind of thinking, you know, he doesn't even have that. And then they've now gone to trademark his name that he was using as an artist, and it was actually a nickname that his mom used to call him, and you know, that kind of thing. And so I was asking a few questions like, you know, do you have a contract with them, that kind of thing. So then I messaged my solicitor friend over here and I asked him that could he go through this contract and advise, you know, me on, you know, what this artist, you know, like that kind of thing. And he gave me a few questions to ask the artist to find out and that kind of thing, you know. So he's now out of that contract anyway and able to release music and that kind of thing. So just those kind of things, you know, like some of them will come up because it's not everybody that is just music. Some of them are actually going through stuff and not knowing who to talk to. So he was just there saying that, yeah, I helped him to get a lawyer, you know, like, and that kind of thing. And, you know, so it's just that kind of thing. So people do reach out and I try as much as possible. That's why I say it's the time. Because there's loads of people reaching out, but you know, some of them get me on a day where I just see their message straight away and I'm able to just respond and you know, some of them are just like so shocked that it takes them a few weeks for them to now respond because they're shocked that they actually got a reply that they weren't expecting. And I can understand that they get that from a lot of people, and you know, a lot of people are busy, so maybe they don't have that time, but yeah.
So do you feel you need to go back home often to be able to, you know, make your mark in the industry, especially as an artist?
No, absolutely not. Because this 15 years, the reason why I invited so many upcoming artists when I did the 15 years, because I've been speaking to them for a long time, but we've never met. So a lot of them, I knew that they would want to meet me since I was going to be there. So I invited a number of them so that they could meet me. I mean, I've had people that I've spoken to. I mean, I've known ID Kabasa since, let's say, 2011, but we only met for the first time face to face like 3 years ago. You know, I met Vector this year, but I've been speaking to Vector for like over 10 years. Wow. You know, like, so we talk, we communicate, you know, we're on WhatsApp, we phone and talk, but we've never met face to face. So sometimes, you know, like, when I go back, and the thing is, I do go to Nigeria, but it's just the time. You know, there's never time. You know how the traffic is. It's a whole day just to get to one place. And so you don't get to see everyone that you want to see. So we've tried loads of times to meet up. It hasn't happened. So yeah, so we meet for the first time and it's like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so, but we've known each other for way longer than that.
That's crazy. So one more question before we call it a day. You do so much, and thank God for the grace of strength
Yes.
wisdom of everything that you need to be able to pull through. But then how and when do you do like a me time? I just need to relax and close my eyes and close my ears. Like, do you get that?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. And I always tell people, when I feel like I have a lot to do or I feel overwhelmed, I just take a day off. I just take a break from it. So sometimes I'll say to my husband, I'm having a day off, so I'm not sending any emails, I'm not responding to any messages. And then I sit down and I find something on Netflix that I enjoy and I binge watch back to back, episode after episode after episode. Eat what I want, chill, nobody can disturb me. It's my day off, I'm having a break. And I do that. But I do enjoy going to the gym, so that for me is my break time and things like that. But yeah, I've learned to give myself breaks and I don't feel bad about it.
No, you shouldn't. Wow, that's superb. Now, I have to say, you do look not just, some people that look great on TV, but in person, not as. But, you look great in person.
Thank you.
And I'm sure a lot of people will be like, so what do you do to keep up, like, with this? We know blacks don't crack, but, I mean, because it's not just about your skin, it's about your physique, you look great. So how do you maintain?
I gym at least 6 times a week when I'm keeping
6
up.
times a week? Just say every day.
Because I have classes the only time I don't go to the gym is on Sunday, because I have classes that I absolutely love. So I have my spin classes, I have my body pump classes that I go to, and I enjoy them, I have people in the classes, so we're always looking out, we haven't seen you for, so sometimes Saturday mornings is my spin classes. So when I don't do my spin classes because I have an activity on Saturday morning, when I do go, I can guarantee people can say, we haven't seen you for a few weeks, where have you been? Because they know I don't miss my classes, but I do that. But I always used to say to people when they say, but you don't look your age and things like that, and and I know makeup makes us look good, but when I don't have makeup, a lot of people say I look younger than my age. I'm thinking, I don't know about that. But yeah, they do. But I always say, the only thing that I don't do is I don't keep malice, I don't make grudges, for me it's about the love war.
Wait.
Let's
rewind. You say it again. Because a lot of people don't realize that those things affect you.
Yeah, they do. So I don't keep malice, I don't bear grudges, I always say to people that, when you forgive somebody, it's not for the person, it's actually for yourself. A lot of people say, I forgive that person because they think that person needs it. You need it. So you forgive that person because you don't want to be thinking about what that person's done to you. You don't want to be going around telling that people, do you know what this person did to me, this, and then you're thinking in your head, how can this person have done that to me, this. Understand people. When you understand people, you'll accept it that, okay, that's how that person is, that's how that person behaves. I have to learn to accept that. So it's not personal to me, that's how they behave. They can behave that way to anybody else. So you allow that person and you forgive that person by letting that person be who they are and not taking on board who they are and letting it affect yourself. Don't bear grudges and just live good with people. I mean, one thing that I never used to do before, I don't know if that was part of it, was drink water. I absolutely did not drink water. I used to live on fizzy drinks all the time. But now I drink water. I'm only drinking water. Now I'm even on 90 days of no sugar and only drinking water. And it finishes on the 28th of December and I cannot wait because the way they have cake in my church and I have to be saying
and it's December. Hey! Festival period, and that's going to be tough.
Yes, so my dessert is a fruit salad. I eat fruits. When I want that sweet thing, I eat fruits. Yeah.
Wow. We want to say thank you so much for this time. You see, she's a busy woman. Well, she made time for us. God bless her. Thank you so much. And we know. Wait, when are you coming to Canada? When are you going to go to Canada?
I keep hearing Canada is cold. Me, I don't like the cold.
Okay, we have summer time now. Please come to see us in summer.
It's summertime.
When is it? It's June, July, and August.
Okay.
Ending of June. Let me be precise because you know how our weather is. Ending of June, July and August.
Okay.
And then beginning of September. So July and August, definitely you should come by, come say hello to us in Canada. Come and show some of us some people, come and show some people how to do it. Thank you so much.
You're
God
welcome.
bless
Thanks
you.
for
I
having me.
appreciate you.
Thank
It
you.
was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. Awesome.
And that's a wrap. Thank you so much to Studio Time Media for having us. And don't forget to like, to share, to comment, and what else? Tag your peoples and follow us on our social media handles. Chat with it. Ciao. Bye for now. And let's thank Studio 10 once again for making this space available. If you want to use the space, reach out to them, Studio 10, on their social media handle. Thank you.